Hello, everybody, and welcome to Edbet Leadership. I trust you are making progress daily on the practice of leadership. Today, I want to throw some perspective on youth leadership and how we might be approaching it wrongly. Let me start with a phrase we've all heard before and possibly we've also used before. All right? What is that phrase? Our youth are the leaders of tomorrow. Sounds inspiring, sounds hopeful, sounds responsible. However, what if that statement, as harmless as it sounds, is one of the most unhelpful leadership ideas we keep repeating? And why do I say so, you may ask? Because hidden inside that sentence is a postponement, a delay, a subtle message that says, you are not leaders yet. Your time hasn't come. Wait for your turn. And that is where the problem begins. So, in this brief episode, I want to interrogate that phrase from the leadership as an activity or behavior perspective. Because if leadership is a practice and not a position, then our youths are not the leaders of tomorrow. They are individuals who should be involved in the practice of leadership now, today. The real question is, are we teaching them how to practice it? Part of the challenge is that we have confused leadership with authority. Authority is a role, it's a title. It gives you a seat at the table. But leadership is a behavior, it's an activity. Leadership is the act of mobilizing people to make progress on difficult challenges or problems. And these two are very different. You can be 25 and practice leadership. You can be 55 and avoid it. You can hold authority and never lead. You can have no title and still exercise leadership. So when we tell young people, you are the leaders of tomorrow, what are we actually saying? You will lead when you get the title. But leadership does not begin with a title. It begins with responsibility. Responsibility for influence, responsibility for impact, for behavior. And if we delay leadership until authority arrives, we create generations who are position hungry but practice poor. And that's dangerous. Now, let me go deeper a little bit. When a young person repeatedly hears, you are the leaders of tomorrow, they internalize something subtle. Leadership is future tense. So what happens? They focus on getting the title, getting the status, getting the office, getting the visibility, instead of learning how to listen, how to manage conflict, how to take responsibility, how to carry out effective diagnosis, awareness, what's going on, how to regulate emotion, how to mobilize others without authority. And when authority finally comes, they are unprepared because leadership was never practiced. It was always postponed. So we've trained ambition, but not capacity. We have inspired aspiration, but not discipline. Leadership is not a reward for age. It is a skill developed through practice, and practice must start now. So, what does it mean to teach leadership as a practice? It means helping young people understand leadership is not about commanding people, it's about contributing meaningfully to progress. It is speaking up responsibly in class discussions or conversations, organizing pairs to solve a community issue, managing disagreement without violence, taking the initiative without being told, admitting mistakes publicly, choosing integrity when no one is watching, volunteering to help solve a group issue, learning to use and manage authority without abuse, because authority always has boundaries. Understanding that authority is a tool, a privilege, and must be used for the good of those who authorized you to use it. Our youths need to understand that leadership is not the microphone, not the podium, not the office, and that you don't wait to become a CEO to learn how to listen. You don't wait to become a minister, a cabinet minister, to learn accountability. You don't wait to become a manager in an office to develop emotional intelligence. And these are not authority skills, they are human skills. And they can be learned at 15, at 18, at 22, at even younger ages. Leadership skills are not inherited upon promotion into an office. They must have been developed through practice. And here's the bigger risk. If we continue to frame young people as leaders of tomorrow, we'll create what I call the authority trap. They begin to believe when I get power, then I will lead differently. But if you cannot practice leadership without power, power will not suddenly create leadership in you. Authority amplifies character, it does not manufacture it. If you avoid responsibility today, you will avoid it tomorrow, just with a bigger title. If you blame others today, you will blame others tomorrow, just with more influence. If you can't take feedback and criticism today, you will silence dissent tomorrow, just with security guards. I had a conversation with my son some time ago, the first of three. By default, he carries informal authority in the house. He's the eldest. His two younger siblings look up to him, but I told him something clearly. Being firstborn gives you informal authority. It does not automatically give you leadership. Leadership is expressed in behavior. It is how you speak to your siblings, how you handle conflict, how you model responsibility, how you take initiative without being instructed, how you sacrifice, share, and communicate with grace. And I said to him, these would define your leadership. And you do not need to wait until you are a father or a CEO or a titled leader before you start learning leadership. It has to be practiced now in the small moments and activities. And if you misuse informal authority now, formal authority will later only magnify the problem. If you practice leadership now, authority later will simply expand your capacity. That conversation with my son, in my opinion, is the same that we need to have with every youth today. Stop waiting. Start practicing. Leadership must be rehearsed long before authority arrives. Maybe the phrase needs to change. So instead of saying our youth, the leaders of tomorrow, what we need to, I suggest, say is our youth learning the acts and practice of leadership development today, or our youths practicing leadership today. And I'll encourage our high schools and colleges, need to be much more intentional in teaching our youth the practice of leadership. Let me close with this. The world does not suffer from a shortage of authority. It suffers from a shortage of leadership. And if we keep postponing leadership development until our youth become adults, we will keep recycling the same leadership failures. Our youths are not the leaders of tomorrow. They are citizens today, influencers today, decision makers today, culture shapers today. And the real question is not, will they lead tomorrow? The real question is, what are we teaching them to practice today? Because leadership is not a position you grow into. It is a behavior you rehearse daily. And if we get this right, tomorrow will not surprise us. It will reflect the leadership we helped them practice today. And this is not about waiting your turn. It's about stepping into responsibility now. And that is leadership. Thank you for listening. Please share this, subscribe to our podcast, and let this message go viral to every youth that you know, that they can practice leadership today. They are not the leaders of tomorrow. They are culture shapers and influencers today. And today, wherever they are, they can practice leadership, because we talk about leadership that can be practiced everywhere and anytime. See you later. Thank you for listening.